Good morning, gang. Happy Tuesday morning. All right. By now, you've probably heard about this Saturday's nationwide protest, the No Kings rally, that we're accusing Donald Trump of being a king. Saturday, of course, is Flag Day. Saturday is when Trump is having this military parade to celebrate the United States, kind of like most every other country does, okay? But, we've had too many yellow-bellied, spineless cowards in the White House to ever want to celebrate the military. The only thing the military is good for a Democrat is a way to launder money. But, protecting the country, couldn't do something like that. So Saturday, while we should be celebrating the flag, we have the lunatic left going to protest authoritarianism, I guess, if you will. I mean, really, I'd love to see a counter-protest against LGBTQ for no queens. That would be better. But, get mental illness treated rather than celebrated. But I want to bring this up because this is the left and their moral superiority, okay? I mean, anything a non-leftist, I can't even say a conservative anymore because even the moderates aren't welcome in the new Democrat Party, okay? Hence the reason Elon Musk says we need a third party for the 80% of the people in the middle. Like, no, actually, that's what MAGA is for, but it's beside the point. Unless you are a full-blown communist-believing leftist, you're pretty much not welcome in the Democrat Party anymore because they have moral superiority over you. Don't believe me? Well, maybe you should check your toxic masculinity at the door, or your white privilege at the door, or your white guilt at the door, or anything else that they're like, you're subservient to us. We're better. You need to listen to us. We know everything. Okay? I wouldn't piss on you if you were on fire. Just give you that. But so come Saturday, and actually this is going on all week. I'm not going to link it because I don't want to give them any promotion. But if you go look online, you can go find it. But this is a week-long event that they have going on with Zoom calls all week to yesterday was Disappeared in America. Today is a town hall. They have Know Your Rights training. Do it in English and in Spanish, okay? Marshal training, a call for veterans, military families, yada, yada, yada. They specifically say on their website, this is nonviolent protests and weapons are, even legal weapons, are not allowed. If you believe that, I've got oceanfront property in Arizona for you, okay? Because the left doesn't know anything except for completely violent protests. But if you go through and look on this map, and it's probably going to be like all these protests that we saw over the Tesla dealerships, right? 8 people show up. They'll be standing there in the corner of a gas station parking lot getting laughed at. But they are doing this, and if I look at the map, I'd say there's got to be 500 or so places that they are planning on doing it. There's a bunch around me, not super close. I mean, they're going to do it in Knoxville. Of course, Knoxville's like any other city, it's blue. Maryville, down south of the city, that's blue. But then I look at some of the other places. There's a whole bunch in Ohio, Indiana. There's one close to me and right at the Tennessee-Kentucky border. If there's 5 people that show up at that one, I'd be surprised, okay? Because especially in areas like mine, you show up to something like that, supporting that, and you're now a pariah in your own neighborhood. Because around small towns, those of you guys that live in small towns, you know, pretty much everybody knows everybody, or at least knows of everybody. And word travels real fast, okay? When somebody's an idiot, everybody knows real quick. Oh, did you see Joe? He went to this No Kings protest. Joe who? Joe, the guy that owns the hardware store. 3 months later, Joe's hardware store is bankrupt because everybody says, oh, that's what he believes? Fine. Ain't spending my money there. I'll drive an hour to go to Home Depot instead. I mean, literally, that's how it works, okay? You want to show that you're a complete America-hating communist? Go to one of these No Kings protests, okay? Because you might as well just paint on the side of your car, I hate the USA, because that's exactly what it is. But what they're doing with these organized riots, which is what they're trying to do here, okay? They're trying to intimidate. They're trying to make the rest of the non-asshole left, you know, those who aren't flag-waving Che Guevara supporters, they're trying to intimidate you. That's exactly what they're doing. They're trying to goad everybody else into violence. That's what they want. Like I said yesterday, they are looking for their next George Floyd. This is their opportunity. Hey, that was only Los Angeles. We had a little bit in New York. Let's try this in 500 cities and towns across the country. Maybe we'll get lucky and somebody will get killed, and then we can all rally around him and go, it's their fault. See, they're the violent ones. They're the violent ones. That's what's going on. Okay. They're trying to claim moral superiority. That's all it is. You need to do it our way. You need to accept drag shows. You need to accept illegal immigrants from everybody because we said so. We're the moral superiors to you. You need to do it our way because your way is wrong. No, it's not. Hopefully, this will turn out to be one huge flop. I'm sure in some cities like, oh, I don't know, Denver or something, they'll have decent-sized crowds. But you go back and take a look at the election last November. In Chicago, which is as blue gets, for example, how many stories did we hear about the black communities in Chicago voting for Donald Trump? Because they're like, the Democrats are screwing us. They're, you know, giving the illegals all this assistance that was supposed to go for the inner cities and instead is going to all of them, and we're left out holding the bag. This is what actions speak louder than words. They can go scream and yell all they want, as much as they want on Saturday. And basically what should happen, what I have a bet is going to happen in a lot of places, is they are going to get laughed out of town. I hope it doesn't turn violent, but what will happen, mark my words, you will hear this on Saturday Evening News, is that they will be again burning buildings, throwing rocks at cars, screaming at people that we need to listen to them because they're so morally superior to us. You know, like a toddler is morally superior to us when they're throwing a fit because they can't have pudding for dinner. Okay, that's their moral superiority is about on the level of a 3-year-old. Then again, their brain capacity is about on the level of a 3-year-old, so it shouldn't surprise us. But come Saturday, just be aware in your area, because it's pretty much and anywhere there's people living. I mean, there's, for Nevada, for example, I mean, if you've ever been in Nevada, the middle of Nevada is basically barren. There's hardly anything there, okay? But there's a couple of protests set up in the middle of Nevada. I mean, of course, they're all over coastal California and the blue areas, I mean, I'd say at least a third of them are in New England. Of course, all the liberals will get together in a circular firing squad and scream at each other how great they are, while the rest of the country laughs at them. Just be careful on Saturday. When you go out, maybe go take a look at their website. See if there is a protest near you. I'm not saying don't go to that town that day. That's what they want. See, they're afraid of us. No. Go there, laugh at them, give them the bird, tell them they're anti-American, stand your ground, and tell them to shut up, take their toys, and go home because they ain't playing anymore. And nor are we. Pinball out.